All right, I have a question. So, Christina, earlier you easily slid the word into a sentence, and it was something that caught me in the book. And we recommend radical focus a lot, especially for startups and small teams. And so of course, kind of thinking in that entrepreneur space, but you mentioned the word intrapreneur,
Oh, yes.
which I hadn't really. Uh, Twigged or really thought about. So instead of me totally blowing the definition of that, what do you consider an entrepreneur to be?
Well, can I do the long answer?
Please.
So, I want to talk just a second about strategy. There's a lot of people use the word strategy, and it's big and it's messy, and it seems to involve a lot of people planning. But I think it's really critical while you're reacting to market forces that you have to think a little bit about where will we be next, because you want to have a robust and sustainable company, right? And so at that moment, it's a really good time to say, how are we going to explore the way entrepreneurs explore? And I'm really lucky again that when I was consulting for a while in the 2000s, early 2000s, I was hired by New York Times Online. And it turns out their entire management team had read Clayton Christensen's uh, help me, Innovator's Dilemma. There, brain fart. So the entire management team had read Clayton Christensen's Innovator's Dilemma, and they responded to that by creating a separate company for the website that was down in Times Square. It was completely far away from the publishing group. The publishing group was always trying to shut it down at that moment because they're like, you're cannibalizing subscriptions, but because they were in a different physical space. And so that gave me my first taste of what entrepreneurship could really look like when it was taking the best of entrepreneurship. Going forward as a big company, again, you're going to have these moments where, like, should we move into this new market? Should we introduce this new product? At which point, creating a little small self-sustained group that can act like an entrepreneurship group and then goes to the company for funding when they start to have strong signals of success is actually a really awesome model for continuing to create innovation, because big companies are like sleeping bears. They just want to keep sleeping. And if somebody's making a lot of noise, they can crush them. But if you can actually, let that little bear cub out in the world to find its own berries. Oh my God, that metaphor escaped me. But you get me, right? You gotta let the entrepreneurs really innovate and even disrupt your own company if it becomes required. But sometimes it's just as simple as, should we put Mexican restaurants in Switzerland? Let's go find out. Let's be entrepreneurs about it. It can be big, it can
I
be
want
small.
I want to know the answer to that one.
The answer is yes,
So
they need good Mexican food.